After a month of tough losses in the market, many investors are asking if there's any money left to be made in AI. Today, we are excited to have Shah Gilani, the Chief Investment Strategist from Manward Press, with us to share more about the AI market. Thank you so much for joining us today, Shah.
Well, it's my pleasure. I'm delighted to be here, especially with all this going on in the marketplace.
There is a lot to talk about today. So let's dive right into what's happening with all of these investments right now. The market has seen a lot of losses this year, especially in the AI sector.
I think investors are overly nervous about what's happening. I think if you take the AI complex of companies and the narrative surrounding AI out of it, and you look at the markets, it's really just about what is the president doing in terms of tariffs, and will tariffs lead to trade wars? Well, is that going to increase inflationary prospects? Does that mean that the Fed's going to end up hiking and not cutting? I think investors are far more worried about that than they are about AI stocks. But there have been so many profits built up in the AI complex of stocks that investors have been taking those profits. And I think the dust up in that area makes it look worrisome. But I don't think that's the focus. I think the focus really should be on what's happening with this administration and what they're doing and how that's impacting the market.
Are there specific moves being made in the new administration that are going to specifically impact the AI sector?
Oh, 100%. AI is the future. The future is here, and we're never going backwards. So, yes, this administration is going to use it everywhere they can. And I think they're going to promote American companies that are big names in AI. But it's just really about this presidency and this administration's desire to put America first, to put American manufacturing first. But generally speaking, America first really has always been about technology and America's ability to innovate. And really, where else is there that's more important right now in the world than AI, which lends itself into, of course, manufacturing and every other aspect of production, marketing, things we don't even consider AI is going to be a part of if it's not already.
You're absolutely right that AI is the future of technology in this country, but some investors are already worried that while this might be the future, we've already missed out on really that explosive growth that many investors have seen the last couple of years. Is there still a potential for that explosive growth in this industry, or have we already passed that?
Well, that's an understandable concern that investors have who are on the sidelines, who haven't been in the names that have moved up. And some of them who have been in the names moved up maybe got shaken out by some of the pullbacks. But I think I'm probably addressing a lot of investors who are looking backwards and saying, I missed it and it's happened and I have been left behind and therefore it's over. No, absolutely not. This is going to go on for as long as we are all alive. And it is really at its infancy. And one of the cool things that I've heard, AI that we have now is the worst it'll ever be. So we have nothing to do but go forward and see better and better and greater adoption of AI. The companies that had great run-ups, that are pulled back, they're a buying opportunity now. I think they're all a buying opportunity now. I'm not sure whether we're not going to see more of a dust up in terms of the general market with the weight of tariffs and perhaps trade wars and perhaps geopolitics and some of the other things that are out there. The market has, again, probably a little bit more downside to go, in my opinion. That can obviously change on a dime given the president's tendency to change his own ideas, thinking, and policy prescriptions on a dime. But if we do end up into some sort of trade war with China, with the European Union, who knows who else? Could be Canada and Mexico. Who knows where that might go? The inflationary worries there means that the market will likely back off, and that might be even scarier for everyone who is watching the likes of NVIDIA drop or Microsoft or some of these great names that are powered by the AI narrative. And there's going to be the kind of fluff that we've seen and we saw in the dot-com era where there was a bubble there, and there may be a bubble here with some sectors within the AI sphere, but the core names, just like the core names in the dot-com run-up, who are still with us, who are up literally thousands and thousands of percent from say 2000, we're going to see the same thing with the big names, the real names, and some names that we have yet to even hear of, and some startups and some names that are out there percolating that are listed that no one's really paying attention to. They had run-ups and they fell over because people said, oh, well, that was just about a lot of hype about that story. They got some headline news and now that stock's run up. Everybody ran into it. The Reddit crowd, poo-pooed it. And then now it's back down to nothing. Well, some of those are going to end up being winners. So there's a long way to go.
I think investors right now are curious about where that first wave is going to go. How much further could Nvidia grow in the future? And I want to get to that soon, but first let's talk about that second wave of AI investments. More investors are really interested in how can I get in early on those companies that haven't made a name for themselves yet.
Chipotle is an example of Chipotle's earnings came out not too long ago, and there were some positive surprises in there. And the result was they said, we've been using AI. And you don't think of a fast food company like Chipotle using AI and it moving the needle, but they're all doing it. Everyone is incorporating AI wherever they can. And so there are companies that no one's even thinking about that are applying AI or going to apply AI that are going to move the needle for them significantly. Marketing ideas for retailers, for example, they're using AI to basically zero in on the types of customers that they know they can make sales with. And this has been going on for some time in terms of how Google advertises and Meta and all of them. This is really where the advertising comes from, is from the data that they collect from users, whether they're Googling something or looking for, well, where should I go on vacation? We all see that. Next thing you know, you've got Cabo San Lucas popping up on your screen and somewhere in South Florida popping up and say, oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering what that would be like this time of year. They're understanding what we're Googling, what we're searching for, where we're going, what we're looking at, and they're using that, and they're now incorporating AI to an extensive degree to figure out how to really singularly market towards the folks most likely to buy products. So that's going to make advertising cheaper. That's going to improve profit margins for retailers. So there are sectors that people aren't even thinking about where AI is going to move the needle. And that's exciting because those are the areas, there are a lot of areas there that folks are going to come to understand, probably, hopefully not after the fact, that, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that, how they might use AI. So that's, to me, there are a lot of hidden gems going to be in there, and they're already starting to percolate. But it's only going to get better. So again, not everyone is aware of where AI is being incorporated in the likes of, say, a Chipotle or like some of the big retailers that are using it, advertising companies, and the list goes, manufacturers, whether it's for robotics or whether it's for using AI to streamline their supply chain operations. So all kinds of areas where AI is being incorporated are going to, as I said, move the needle significantly in terms of profit margins. And that's going to fall down to the bottom line. And that's going to motivate investors to say, this is a great company with increasing profit margins, increasing bottom line profits, and earnings per share are just rising. Holy mackerel. So I think investors, there's plenty of opportunities in some of those, I say, unforeseen opportunities that will become visible soon enough. And if you go out and look for them and read company data and read the quarterly reports, read the annuals, they talk about how they're incorporating AI. And that's where a lot of investors will find a lot of stuff. I read a lot of those reports and my light bulbs go off, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't have imagined that that's where they're used. That's how they're using it. That makes perfect sense. And again, there are opportunities in areas that no one's thinking about. Everybody should be thinking about the NVIDIAs of the world, the Microsofts of the world, the Metas of the world, Google's, on and on and on. They're not going anywhere. And by the way, most of them are on sale right now.
Yeah, those are companies all investors would really put in that magnificent seven, the stocks that are really performing well in the market right now, especially in the technology and AI sector. But will it be that way forever? Check out our free special report on the next 7 stocks that will be magnificent in 2025. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description of this video to get that free report on marketbeat.com right now. Shah, I want to dive into the current Mag 7 stocks a little deeper. All of these companies that you've talked about have kind of had a shift in sentiment, really, ever since DeepSeek came out earlier this year and kind of changed the narrative and the question on, are these companies needing to spend as much money as they're spending? And are they overpriced because of what they're doing? What are your thoughts on where these Mag 7 companies could go in the future?
Narratives drive investor psychology. So whether it's a story or about something or a headline or some snippet that people pick up on, these narratives, whether they're factual or not, or whether there's data behind them, almost don't matter to the point that investors react to them. And when DeepSeek all of a sudden surfaced and the understanding was they did what with how little, and they're competing with OpenAI. So everyone said, wait a second, we got Meta looking to spend $65 billion in 2025, Microsoft close to that number, all of them announcing their big spending on AI, plus everybody else announcing spending on AI. What are all these big companies wasting their money on? They're doing something wrong. And that was the beginning of, uh-oh, time to take profits on this, because what a waste of money. And they're going to come to this realization that they're overspending, they must be wasting money. But that's not the case. They have to spend. It's about housing the data in the cloud and supporting all that with the necessary build outs that they have to do. This is a global competition for AI dominance. It's really it's almost like a military industrial complexes gearing up to fight some incredible battles, because they're all going against each other, because it's possible that whoever wins will win some kind of global dominance, because AI has that much. There's that much possibility in what AI can do. And I don't think that any of these companies should slack off in their spending and their R&D.
AI is far from over, it's just beginning, and the investment into infrastructure will pay off for these companies and for investors. It also means there's just so much more to grow in the entire industry as a whole. I know you've really been looking into what that second wave of AI investments are really going to look like, and some companies that are really going to pay off for investors in the future of AI.
Yeah, we're in all the names. We have to be, and we're looking to add some of them on these recent dips. And if they dip more, we'll buy more, because these are core positions, especially in the companies. The most of the Mag Sevens, not Tesla. I don't include Tesla in there as far as what I'm interested in. As far as I think AI goes, Tesla is definitely part of that. I'd like to see Starlink go public. I'd like to see a few other things happen with some of Elon's companies. But as far as the Mag 7 go, the AI application, whether it's Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, of course, NVIDIA, it is what's going to power them. And they're not just one-trick ponies. NVIDIA, to a degree, you can say, is focused on just the chips, but the other players are so much more than that. So they're core. But there are other companies that I'm digging out that are under the radar. Some of them people know, some of them people are like, oh, I never heard of that. But there are more than a handful of really great names out there that are doing really well and are going to skyrocket. And so we're into those. I mean, it's about doing your homework. It's about finding companies that have real reasons to use AI, how they're using AI, what exactly do they have that allows them to build on their AI basis. And I've found one company in particular that it's just unprecedented what they have going for it, but no one's paying attention to it.
Share a little bit more about what kind of pointed you in the direction of this stock and this really special investment.
somewhere in the back of their minds, they've heard this name. But it's not one of those front burner names where people say, "Oh, of course I know that company." But it's written about, and there are reports on it, and there's a lot of information out there if you do a lot of digging. They have over 2,000 patents. That's more than NVIDIA, Microsoft, Tesla, and OpenAI combined. So this is what I mean when you have to have the basis for creating the future that you can monetize, and this company has, and they're already monetized. They're already profitable. Bank of America Merrill Lynch analyst said it's the most important company Americans know the least about, and that's because it's under the radar. So this is a great find. It's a core holding of mine, and I think the stock um, double, triple, quadruple. People laugh when I said that in the past about Microsoft. People don't think that these companies that are big can get a lot bigger. NVIDIA's same story. You have on and on and on. These companies that everyone thinks are big or too small, they'll never get to that size, or they're big, they can't double or quadruple. Yes, they can. This is one of those companies that because of its profitability, because of its patents, because of its AI application, because of its reach, when it gets the full attention that it deserves, investors are going to plow money into it.
Our viewers may notice that he has not given a name for this stock yet, and that's because it's all in his new special report. You can check that report right now by scanning the QR code or clicking the link in the description of this video to get that report right now. Shah, thank you so much for sharing so much of your knowledge in the whole AI sector and kind of teasing this report for our viewers today, too.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been my pleasure.
Thanks again for joining us today, everyone. And as always, happy investing.